Hi team, welcome to Cloud Pandit. In this Microsoft Fabric Master Program, in today's session, we are going to talk about mini project for data pipelines in Microsoft Fabric. Let's say small project for data pipelines. Let me explain to you what we are going to do for this particular project. You can see here already I have executed, but I'll start from very scratch. First, I'll explain to you what I have done. I'll delete this. I'll start from very scratch how you can implement the same pipeline. So if you look at the requirement is very simple, team. So the client has a REST API. So they don't know how many pages are there. Those pages can be dynamic. So maybe today, as of today, you may have 3,500. Tomorrow it will be 3,700. So what they wanted to do is they asked you to copy all the data from all the pages into the our lakehouse from the REST API. So for this, you need to take the starting page ID, ending page ID dynamically, and you need to pass it to the for each so that for each will iterate through those page IDs from, for example, you have page IDs up to 3,700, then our pipeline should iterate through page number 1 to 3,700. So these page IDs, we don't know. Everything should be identified dynamically. Once we identified what is the starting page, what is the ending page, we need to iterate through all these pages and we need to start copying from page 1 to till end of the page without failing anything. Okay, so for that, the first important thing, as we discussed in all our previous sessions, we need to use the web activity for login. So for login, I'll just use the login connection details, then email and password for logging into the REST API. So already we discussed how to register, how to login, and we used this web activity for login. Okay. So once we have login with this particular email and password, we will get a token. So that token you can able to see, we will get a token like this. Okay. What is the token? This is the token. Okay, so to take this particular token, we need to use a dynamic content, that is at the rate activity of web1 dot output dot data dot token. We need to use to take this particular token dynamically, and we need to pass this particular first step is we need to pass this particular token, because this is the step one is I logged in. Okay, once you log in, you will get a token. Okay, what is the token? So this is the token I have. Oh, sorry, this is the token that I have bought it. This other response we don't require, I removed it. This is the step one. Step two is whatever token you have taken from the web activity, that particular token I need to pass it to the lookup activity. So what lookup activity does? Okay, give me one. Yeah, I just connected power cable, team. So what lookup does is lookup, you can see it is just pointing to the page one within this particular REST API, and it is using this particular token, whatever web activity one is passing, right? So you can see activity of web one dot output dot data dot token. So this particular token I am passing to this particular header, and I am querying the page one data. So what happens when you query the page one data, when you request for page one data, what is the lookup output you can see? So in lookup output, you are seeing some metadata also. Metadata saying this is a page one response. The total pages that I have is 3623. So now you have some information. What is the starting page? What is the ending page? So you know page ID is 1 is the starting page. Page ID 3623 is the ending page. So now you need to take this particular thing as a second step is get starting and ending page details. So we are getting the starting page and total pages of that particular information using the lookup. That is the second step. So once we have got that particular information, in our previous lab we have used a range function. What that range does is, if I given a range of starting page is 1, range of ending page is some 4,000, for example. Currently we have some 3,700, some number, for simplicity 4,000. Now what happens, it will range function will start from 1, it will give the next 4,000 numbers, 1 2 3 4 5 so on till 4,000 numbers. It will give the all sequence numbers. Those all sequence numbers will be generated by the for each. Okay, for each, inside for each we are using range function, will generate and give it to the for each. Now for each, what it does, those items, those numbers, it will be passing to this particular source data set dynamically. So first it will pass 1, next to 2, next to 3, and so on up to 4,000 pages. If you have 4,000 pages, it will be passing. So I'll be reading the one by one page data and copying into the lake house. I'm copying into the lake house. So this is how. And the source data set side here also we need to pass the this particular barrier token to read the data from each page of the REST API and copy into the lakehouse. So this is how, team. First web activity for login, and with this particular token, I'll be taking the first page response. Based on the first page response metadata, I'm identifying what is the starting page and ending page. I'm passing that range details to the for each. So inside for each, we are using the copy activity to copy data from all the pages from range of 1 to the end of the page. For example, in our this use case, we have seen end of pages 3623. So all the pages from 1 to 3623, all this particular data, all the pages data we are copying into the lakehouse. Later, if you want to merge it, whatever you want to do, we can able to do all these things. But in this particular mini project, we are going to do till here. So for this team, so what I'll be doing, you can see I'm going to like my work, go to my workspace. Yes. So I'm just completely deleting everything. You can just delete this. Okay. You can also delete these things. Okay. You can also delete these things. Click on this, delete these things. Okay. Once you deleted all these things, what you need to do next is, let's start from very scratch. Go to my workspace. Okay. Let's create a, so we know what is our source. Source is REST API, everything we have here. Okay. We will take them from the direct website. Come here, let's take a Sync Lakehouse. Sync is our lakehouse. So I'll say Cloud Pandit. You can say TGT, Target Lakehouse 001. I'll be creating to store all these page responses. Within this particular lakehouse, I'll be creating a folder called output folder. Okay, this is with respect to the sync. Now go to my workspace, click on new, create a data pipeline. Okay, this data pipeline is nothing but a PL4. So data loads, data, maybe you can say data ingestion daily, create it. Okay. So now the first important thing we know, go to activities, we need to use a web activity to log in. In order to log in into the REST API, we know the login URL. If you go up little bit, okay, if you go up little bit, this is the login URL. You can take this particular login URL. We can go to settings. We can. So first we need to connect it. So for connection, just click new. I don't want to use the existing things, and I'll say this is for this is the base URL, whatever we have copied, you need to put it here. It is saying already with this URL connection is there, but I don't want to use this. For you, it will be shown like this, create new connection, because there won't be existing connection. I'll say ls for mini project underscore login. This is the connection name I am giving. So I don't want to pass any credentials at the time of login. You can give here as anonymous. Okay. And you can pass your credentials at here. So at the login, you need to use a method called post method. At the time of login, you need to use a method called post method. How you will know which method to use? You can see to login, you need to use a method called post. So I have chosen a method post. Here I need to pass my email and password for login. So in our earlier session, we have seen my email and password is this for login. So I'll be using these two for login. Along with this, one extra responsibility for us is this is not available, but it was throwing error. That's where I found the answer for this is we need to add a content type is application slash JSON. Otherwise, it is taking as application slash text and it is failing. So that's why till here we need to do, and you can able to save and run till here to see whether are we getting the token or not. Are we getting the token or not? When we run this, let's see that. Click on open canvas, run this, you can see successful, it is completed. I got the token. This is the token, but this token I don't want to hard code it. That's why what we wanted to do is this token, how I can able to take it dynamically at the rate activity of web activity dot output dot data dot token I need to pass. For this, first I'll be using a lookup activity to get the metadata information, how many pages we have in our REST API. For that, I'll be using an extra activity called lookup activity. Just add this lookup activity, keep it like this. Now within this lookup, what you need to do, again go to settings. Here it is the external source. I want to establish a one connection. Click new. It is the REST API connection. Okay, I want to use a REST API connection. So if you look at here, see REST API connection is not showing for you, right? So REST API connection is not showing for you, but still remember the lookup is going to support that. So, but it is not allowing you to create a linked service, right? So for that, what you can do is for some like just for instance, okay, to create a linked service, you can use the copy data activity. Okay, you can delete it later. It will not be shown. That's why these are temporary issues. These will be fixed. REST. Click on this. Here I need to put the user data REST connection. Okay. So here this is the like page one response I'm getting. In the page one response, I'll have a metadata that I want to use. I'll be just putting this here, and it is I want to create a new connection. This connection I'll say ls for mini project. Okay, source connection. This is a source connection. Very careful object. This is a source connection. At the time of connecting to this to get the user data, I am using a basic authentication. It is not anonymous. Here I'll be using my email address is cloudpandit53@gmail.com. Password is cloud@123. Now you can create it. Now I'll be deleting this copy activity. Now if you come to look up, now you can able to see ls underscore mini project underscore source. You can see mini project underscore source linked service will be shown. It is also telling, right, lookup activity currently only supports limited functionalities for Azure Cosmos MongoDB REST connectors. It will be improved in the future. Yes, it will be improved in the future. For now, you can use it like this. Along with this, you can go to advanced in the so this uses the method called get team. Remember get, and it required a headers authorization in order to fetch the user data. So that's why let me put the authorization. So authorization is, this is the key. Let me put the key as authorization. What is the value team? Barrier and token. So token I need to pass it from web activity. That's why click add dynamic content. Here you can put concat. Okay, use this. Here you can able to pass web activity dot output dot data dot token. Okay, how you know this is data dot token? You can see here data dot token you need to use to pass this. Okay, let's click OK. Now again go to home. Here, save and run it. Let's save and run till here. Okay, so we are good till here, team. So web activity is completed. Lookup activity is queued. Let's wait for few seconds to complete the lookup activity. Yeah, lookup is also running. It is succeeded. Lookup output, if you see team output. So this is saying page one and total pages is 3623. So this is the output that I want, because I want to use this particular response to generate the range values. Range from 1 to 3623. How I can get it? So these things, these are output of the lookup activity. So you need to say lookup activity dot output dot first row dot page to get a starting value. Lookup dot output dot first row dot total underscore pages to get a end of the page number. So you can see now I want to pass this range of page numbers to the for each activity. Go to activities. You can add your for each activity. Okay, but remember this login token we also required for the copy activity. This lookup output also we need to get a starting and ending page. So I need both the outputs to the inner activities. Inside for each I'll be using copy activity. For that copy activity we need these two. So that's why like you connect these two, okay, to the for each. Now what you can do, come to settings, sequential. If you want to generate sequential, but it takes a lot of time, let's leave it for the batch. Batch of 50 will run at a time. Add dynamic content. Here I need to generate a range of values. What is the starting range? Starting range is lookup output dot. Okay, you can just come back. A range of, okay, you can see lookup output dot first row dot page to get a starting value. You can see page to get a starting value. Ending page is total underscore page, comma. Again, lookup dot output dot first row dot total underscore page. So it will give the starting page, ending page. So we will get in all the sequence numbers will be generated by the for each. Now from that for each, I need to pass those sequence numbers to the activity called copy data activity. What is the activity here? So same data set you can able to use. Data stories, same, this one only you can able to use. So but the only problem, yeah, there is a small problem, don't use this. Okay, I want to create a new one team. Just click new. Here you can say rest, select rest. Here I don't want to give this entire thing. I want to give till the, you can see, very careful objective, very important this point. So I'll be giving till user. Okay, question mark page I want to be passed dynamically, that's why I'll removing this. Okay, and this connection I'll say ls for rest API copy source. This is a copy activity source connection I am giving here. To connect to this, I'll be using a basic authentication. What is the username? cloudpandit53@gmail.com. The password is cloud@123. Click create. Once you create, now what happens? This page values we have not passed it. This one I want to pass it dynamically. How you can pass it? Add dynamic content. Here at the relative URL we discussed already in previous sessions. Page equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. That number will be passed by the for each activity. Just you need to say item. So item will give first 1, next to 2, next to 3. Like that, all the page numbers it will be selecting. But in order to connect and read the data from the REST user data, we need to add a headers. Here, let's add the same formula that you have used in our the lookup. So key should be the authorization and value should be the barrier. Okay, you can just have to use a barrier here. You can see concat of barrier, comma. So web activity output we need here. Here which activity output we need? Web activity output dot data dot token we need. Token we need. So that's how, if you pass this token, we can able to read the data from each page. Page numbers will be passed dynamically by the for each. So from each page, we'll get the data. That data I'll be copying into the lakehouse. In the lakehouse, I have a folder called output folder. In this particular output folder, I'll be copying all this data. Okay. Now let's come to the home. Okay. Validate everything. You can see there is no errors were found, and you can save and run this particular pipeline. Okay. Now you can able to save and run this particular pipeline. You can see here itself the runs you can able to monitor it. Okay, so web activity has generated the token. You can see it has generated the token. Now our lookup is running. Okay, now you can see for each is received how many? For each is received 3623 page IDs. It is generating. Why? Because you can see the total pages we have 3623. That's why for each is going to run from 3623 times. It is going to run the inner activities. Inside we have the copy data activity. You can see. So I think approx 40 items are running in parallel. So showing the 40 items, meaning 40 items, 40 copy activities are running in parallel like this. First 40 pages will be copied, next 40 pages will be copied, next 40 pages will be copied. So like that, all the data is going to be copied into the lakehouse. You can come to the lakehouse, you can go to output, you can just right click on this, refresh it. You should be able to see the lot of pages are getting loaded into here. You can just see this is a page ID 27 response. If you come down further, click on this. You can say there's a page ID 41 response. If you come down further, you can also see there's a page ID 60 response. Like this, it is going to be loaded from page ID 1 to 3627, whatever is there. Okay, so all the copy activities are getting succeeded team. You can able to see those things. Okay, so within this project, okay. Yeah, that's it for today, team. So thank you for watching this particular video. If you have any questions, please post your questions in the comment section. I request all of you to subscribe my YouTube channel and encourage me and support me. Thank you. That's it for today.